I'm sorry, miss, there's no reservation for you. The front desk clerk said it gently, like she was afraid I might break. Her fingers hovered over the keyboard, refreshing the screen again, just in case the computer was wrong. I smiled, embarrassed, and laughed softly. That's impossible, I said. We're checking in together. Last name Carter. 4 rooms. She typed again. Paused. Looked up at me with pity this time. I only see 3 rooms. All occupied. None under your name. The air around me shifted. I turned slowly toward my family, expecting confusion, maybe a quick explanation. My mom was already looking at her phone. My dad suddenly found the marble floor fascinating. No one met my eyes. That was the moment my chest tightened. Mom? I whispered. Did you book my room separately? She didn't answer right away. She sighed instead, like I'd asked something exhausting. Oh, she said lightly, I must have forgotten. Forgotten. The word echoed in my head as the lobby noises faded, the rolling suitcases, the polite laughter, the soft piano music meant to make people feel welcome. Forgotten. As if you forget a toothbrush. As if you forget socks. Not a daughter. My sister let out a laugh. Not a nervous one. A cruel one. Well, she said, crossing her arms, we only reserved rooms for real family anyway. The words landed perfectly. Too perfectly. Practiced. I waited. I don't know what I was waiting for. A protest. A correction. An apology. Anything. My father cleared his throat but said nothing. My mother finally looked up, her eyes already defensive. Don't be dramatic, she said. You're an adult now. You can figure something out. Figure something out. We had driven 5 hours together. I had helped plan the trip. I had sent money for gas. I had believed this vacation was about healing and starting fresh. Now I stood there, luggage at my feet, realizing the truth I had avoided my entire life. This wasn't a mistake. This was intentional. My face burned, but I refused to cry. Crying would have given them what they wanted, proof that I was still the weak one. The one who needed them. The one they could push aside without consequences. The front desk clerk glanced between us, uncomfortable. I can check nearby hotels. No, I said quietly. My voice surprised even me. It didn't shake. I picked up my suitcase and turned to my family one last time. My sister smirked. My mother looked relieved. My father still wouldn't look at me. Then I'll leave, I said. I walked out before anyone could stop me. The glass doors slid shut behind me with a soft mechanical sound, sealing something far deeper than a lobby entrance. Outside, the evening air was cool. My hands were shaking now. My phone buzzed once. Then again. I didn't look. Because in that moment, standing alone in the parking lot, I finally understood something that broke my heart and freed me at the same time. They had already left me long before I walked away. I sat in my car with the engine off, hands gripping the steering wheel so tightly my knuckles turned white. The hotel glowed behind me, warm and full of laughter that didn't include me. My phone kept vibrating in the cup holder like a trapped insect. 1 call. 3. 10. I flipped the screen face down. For the first time in my life, I didn't answer. That silence wasn't anger. It wasn't revenge. It was survival. When the shock finally wore off, the pain rushed in all at once. My chest felt hollow, like something vital had been scooped out and replaced with air. I leaned my forehead against the steering wheel and let the tears fall, quiet and uncontrollable. I cried for the girl who had tried so hard to belong. The one who always compromised. The one who believed love meant endurance. Memories surfaced uninvited. Being 16, watching my sister get a car for her birthday while I was told to be grateful for a used laptop. Being 18, paying my own tuition while my parents called it building character. Being 20, blamed for family arguments I didn't start because I was too sensitive. I used to think these were just misunderstandings. Different parenting styles. I told myself favoritism was in my head. But now, sitting alone in that car, the pattern was undeniable. My phone lit up again. Mom, call me. This is getting ridiculous. Dad, come back. Let's talk. My sister, you're embarrassing yourself. I didn't reply. Instead, I drove. I didn't know where. Just away. I checked into a cheap motel an hour down the road, the kind with thin walls and flickering lights. I lay on the bed fully dressed, staring at the ceiling, listening to my phone buzz over and over. By the time it stopped, there were 56 missed calls. That number felt unreal. Almost ironic. All those calls, yet none when I stood at the front desk. Sometime after midnight, clarity began to settle in. Pain sharpened into awareness. I opened my email, searching for a distraction, and stumbled across something I hadn't thought about in months, a forwarded document from my dad. Financial spreadsheets. Notes. Contracts. That's when the pieces started clicking together. I wasn't just forgotten. I was inconvenient. Over the past year, I had questioned why my parents suddenly pushed me to sign papers for the business. Why my sister insisted I didn't need to be involved anymore. Why money conversations stopped the moment I entered the room. And then it hit me, the trip wasn't about family bonding. It was about control. They assumed I'd stay silent like always. Accept scraps. Smile through humiliation. They thought excluding me would remind me of my place. What they didn't know was that I had kept copies. Every document. Every email. Every signature they told me not to worry about. Lying in that motel room, tears dried, something inside me shifted. The girl who needed their approval disappeared that night. In her place stood someone quiet. Observant. Awake. The silence they feared wasn't punishment. It was preparation. By morning, my phone was silent. No more calls. No more messages. Just a blank screen reflecting a face I barely recognized, calm, tired, but strangely clear. I took a long shower in that small motel bathroom and watched the water run over my hands, as if it could wash away years of self-doubt. It didn't. But it sharpened something in me. I ordered cheap coffee and opened my laptop. This was the part of me they never bothered to see. While my sister played the role of the golden child and my parents controlled the narrative, I had quietly become useful, dangerously so. I was the one who helped Dad late at night with spreadsheets. The one who noticed inconsistencies in numbers. The one who translated legal jargon because you're good with details, honey. They trusted me because they underestimated me. I pulled up the files I had saved months ago, back when something felt off. Business agreements tied to our family company. Property documents. A draft will that had been revised 3 times in 1 year. Each version quietly reduced my name until it disappeared entirely. I remembered my mother saying, "It's just easier this way." Easier for whom? The deeper I looked, the clearer the manipulation became. Assets moved into shell accounts. My sister listed as director despite having no experience. My parents assuming I wouldn't question it because I never had before. But there was something they missed. A clause. Buried. Overlooked. The company's largest account, its lifeline, had been placed under my name temporarily for convenience while paperwork was processed. They never moved it back. They never thought they needed to. Legally, it was still mine. I didn't feel excited. I didn't feel angry. I felt steady. I called a lawyer that afternoon. Not the family one. An independent one. I didn't tell my parents. I didn't warn my sister. I listened, took notes, asked questions. For the first time, someone spoke to me with respect, not dismissal. Yes, the lawyer said carefully. You have rights. More than they think. That night, I finally checked my messages. Mom, we didn't mean to hurt you. Dad, you're overreacting. My sister, you always do this. Play the victim. I almost laughed. Instead, I typed one sentence and erased it. Not yet. The plan wasn't about revenge in the way movies portray it. I wasn't going to confront them in a dramatic explosion. I wasn't going to expose everything all at once. I was going to let the truth surface naturally, legally, quietly, irreversibly. Over the next few days, I moved with precision. I transferred what was legally mine. Filed the necessary documents. Set boundaries in writing. Each step approved, verified, calm. I imagined them back at the hotel, enjoying room service, convinced they had finally put me in my place. They didn't realize the ground under them had already shifted. They thought my silence meant defeat. They never understood that silence was where I learned to think. And by the time they noticed something was wrong, it would be too late to fix it, not because I wanted to hurt them, but because consequences don't ask for permission. For the first time in my life, I wasn't reacting. I was choosing. And that changed everything. The first call came 3 days later. I was sitting by a cafe window, sunlight warming my hands as I wrapped them around a mug of tea I paid for with my own money, money that was finally, undeniably mine. My phone buzzed. Mom's name flashed on the screen. I let it ring. Then my dad called. Then my sister. One after another, like dominoes falling in slow motion. I didn't feel panic. I felt confirmation. By the 4th day, the messages changed. We need to talk. There's been a misunderstanding. Please come home. The lawyer had warned me this would happen. When people lose control, she said, they mistake access for love. I met them a week later. Neutral place. Public. A small conference room near the lawyer's office. I arrived early. They arrived together, faces tight, confidence cracked. My sister was the first to speak. You had no right, she snapped. That money wasn't yours. I slid a folder across the table. It was, I said calmly. You just didn't read the paperwork. My father's hands trembled as he flipped through the documents. My mother's face drained of color with every page. Proof. Signatures. Dates. All legal. All real. You're tearing this family apart, my mother whispered, tears forming right on cue. I looked at her, not with anger, but with clarity. No, I said. I'm just not holding it together for you anymore. Silence filled the room. The kind that exposes truth. My sister scoffed. So what? You think you're better than us now? I stood, picked up my bag, and smiled, not cruelly, not triumphantly. Just peacefully. You told me something at the hotel, I said. You said you only reserved rooms for real family. Their faces froze. So I took your advice, I continued. I stopped begging to be included. I built my own space. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't insult them. I simply walked away, again, but this time, it wasn't from rejection. It was from closure. Weeks passed. The business restructured. Assets redistributed. Consequences settled where they belonged. My parents downsized. My sister lost the authority she never earned. Karma didn't scream. It whispered. One evening, my mother called me, voice small. We're still family, she said. No matter what. I closed my eyes and breathed. Family doesn't forget to book you a room, I replied softly. I didn't hang up angrily. I didn't wait for an apology that would never come. I simply ended the call. Now, I live in a place filled with light. I choose people who choose me. I sleep peacefully, no longer shrinking to fit into spaces that were never meant for me. The sweetest revenge wasn't taking anything from them. It was taking myself back. And in doing so, I finally understood the truth. Sometimes being left out is the invitation to walk into a life where you are fully, unapologetically enough.